here, or classrooms, not offices. We got Remy here. We're talking about a number of things. I don't know how. Maybe Remy a little closer for the microphone. Number of things. We talk about the desert of the real, the blue pill or the red pill. There was a book he pulled off the shelf, Neo, and it was right next to Baudrillard's
I think it was Simulation.
It was. He put the message inside Simulation and Simulacrum.
Yeah, that was the book.
What do you? Okay, we're talking about number. We're talking about that movie Matrix as opposed to Inception. And today, in today's lecture, conjunction, disjunction between archive and simulation. Are we, as Baudrillard might say, practicing our whole lives in an archive like this, getting ready for something that's not simulated? What do you know about Baudrillard?
I think what he said is pretty soon our sense of reality it's gonna be distorted. We're gonna be too used to seeing images that seems like hyper real. They look too good. For example, you might begin to think that what you see in the movies, the images, the people, that will be your reality.
Or it's a famous thing. It's called the uncanny valley. Has anyone heard about this term? Uncanny valley is what, Remy?
Let's say you're trying to build a robot to be as human as possible, and I think the uncanny valley it's a point that you reach where it's weird, like it doesn't seem human.
Well, it becomes macabre. How many saw that movie Lars and the Real Girl? It's a funny movie. It's about kind of a Asperger-y kind of guy in a small town. You know, he can't get a date, he can't get anything, so he buys a sex doll, right? And he starts carrying around the sex doll everywhere, treating it like a lover. That's the uncanny valley. It's a cute little film. It's not pornographic or anything like that. But what it does happen in the film, why it was cute, is that in this little town, everyone's filled with their expectations of intimacy. First they were weird and laughing at him and like, oh, you loser, you can't get a girlfriend. Oh, it's Lars, and he's I think it's on Netflix. It's good. It's with what's his face, the guy who's in everything now, Brian. I forget. Anyway, the husband and the wife start looking at each other like they start fighting. It's like you're not. I mean, they see Lars treat this kind of like imported sex doll as like a real person, and they feel like they're abusing each other. And there's the cute message of the film is Lars teaches the film a whole new thing about their cliched versions, their harsh versions of how they treat each other. So that was the message. Uncanny Valley, yes. There are all these Japanese sex dolls that have gone out of the other side of the uncanny valley into something strange. Anyone see a dead person? That's the uncanniest valley, when what's sitting there is a lifeless form that kind of looks human.
Or once was human.
Once was human. And Freud, the uncanny is when something is too real. I talked about like walking up from Union Square to this class space and encountering 6 textures in front of me. To me, that's a light version of Simulacrum. In the future, Remy, what will we see that'll annoy us about these same textures? Have we seen it all yet?
We haven't seen it all. If it's not texting, it'll be something else.
Could we foreseeable? Now they're coming out with those cheapo, like little projectors this big. Because just for the sake of argument, could I be walking up 5 years from now, someone's got a necklace like a projector, is projecting on a piece of paper like this, as he or she is like crossing the street, and they've... Google Goggles. Oh, that's it. It's not even projector, it's here. I see someone walking around like a zombie like this, on dangerous 23rd Street, you know, stopping halfway, or coming right at me when I'm trying to cross at the end of a red light, and they got Google Goggles on.
There was an episode in Futurama where it's like the iPhone, but it's literally in their eye. So whenever they walk around, they're just looking. They have like the iPhone interface, and they're just walking around like zombies.
Dual realities, zombie realities. Where does it stop? Baudrillard was talking about. I think there was 5 levels of reality. It represents reality. It mimics it. It counters it. It distorts it, and the last one, it has absolutely no relationship at all to reality. That's his 5 levels of the simulacrum. I got this now, which we'll rev up later. It's a favorite little device. It's the I call it the brain cap, the emotion neurosensor. It was funny when my computer programmer, I put this on and I said, oh, wow, I can't wait to rev this up, and can you do the code? Yeah, I can do the code, blah, 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 blah. And he looked at me and said, but you can't fake emotions. I said, but what do you think actors do? I mean, sure we can fake emotions. Is this what, are we reaching in these levels of the simulacrum, are we reaching psychotic dimensions? That as in Deleuze and Guattari, which they cover in the first chapter, the normal condition of the human being is schizophrenia.
I couldn't say I agree with that. I don't know. Why schizophrenia?
Because it's split personality. The simplest definition of it is split personality. Caesar, have you ever seen that in your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean...
Through people we've been dating, right? Hasn't that? How many, raise your hand, people. How many people have we seen where it's like, oh, they're so sweet, they're so tender, they're so sexy, then it's like the blue pill kicks in.
You know, I think if you can't identify a bit of schizophrenia in yourself, then you really need to get,
Yeah, and yourself alone. You go like, after you did something, you go, why did I do that? What's going on here? Oh, talk me down. What's going on? So what, Catherine, this is normal for Deleuze and Guattari. This is normal for Baudrillard. It's normal to see a city filled, or I call them zombies, teaching in my regular class when everyone's like on the text. I say zombies awake.
What is normal?
According to Baudrillard, there are 5 different fracturings of that answer you gave me. There are 5 different levels of normality. Compare, contrast, separate, distortion, and no relationship at all. What else about Baudrillard? Baudrillard wrote this in the mid-'80s, or it really hit the American public in the mid-'80s, early '80s, mid-'80s. From France, he's a semiotician. He bases his whole thing on a number of people, Saussure, some McLuhan. He has this lineage, but people in America thought that he called Vegas the most honest place on earth. Why?
Well, they call people go there and they if you look at it in a religious way, they commit a lot of sins. They're doing themselves.
They gamble. Hookers are legal. What goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas.
You get married and
you can get married and divorced as you head out of town for the airport. David? Why is that? Why are places like this? Baudrillard said, "Come on, gang! Don't criticize places like Vegas. Criticize places like Washington or New York."
Oh, he also describes Disneyland as it's like the epitome of what's not real. All right, take this is a table, and then you have a picture of the table, and then you have a picture of that picture, and Disneyland is just
it's gone out the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
It's so. What was that movie called where there were no? Oh, I forget this. Well, the one the Spider-Man dude was in it with Reese Witherspoon, where everything's black and white.
Oh, right.
Pleasantville. There are no toilets. No one has genitalia, and then suddenly the housewife falls in love, right? And she turns a color, right? So is Disney like this gray world where no one has genitalia, no one takes a poop,
It's
no
supposed
one
to be like perfect.
perfect.
Like,
Have you known people in your life who like simulating this perfection, this kind of antiseptic perfection?
do I know anybody?
Yeah,
I know mothers who try to, like Stepford wives.
Stepford wives and so forth. What do you remember that? What is the Stepford wives? Very a play on a cliche, sexist sort of. What do you know? What the term Stepford wife is, Minju?
No, but I'm assuming it's like everything has to be perfect.
Perfect. I mean,
Perfect
Mad
house.
Men talk about the wife up in Connecticut, usually white, usually blonde, usually machine-like. She takes amphetamines to get up in the morning, depressants to get down at night. Husband comes into town, goes the trophy wife. Have we transcended that, Minju? The keepers and keepees of the trophy wife.
What do you mean?
The Stepford wives. Are there places on Earth where Stepford wives still
Oh,
exist?
definitely.
Orange County.
Orange County, California, maybe still in
The
Connecticut,
Hamptons.
the Hamptons, here, in some, not even the penthouses here.
I was gonna say something. They have a bunch of reality TV shows like Real Wives of this place, or Mob Wives, or Football Player Wives. I don't know. I thought I just thought of that for some reason.
But let's hang with Baudrillard. Okay, Baudrillard says that let's not be dissing the Real Housewives. If they want bigger breasts, pump them up, get the surgery. They want to get pulled, get pulled. You know, Baudrillard's down with it, saying if life is this what Umberto Eco called a slippage of signifiers. Sexy means what? Redoing your body. For men also. Then Baudrillard says, like with Vegas, be honest about it and do it if it makes you feel. But we have something else in our society saying no, that's fake. That will only lead to displeasure. What might that be, Caesar?
I honestly don't know.
Is there a warning sign, or is this all like the red pill people are afraid to take? It's like you want a Stepford wife, you want a trophy wife, what do they call it? Arm candies? Just something on your arm to show your men friends to say, hey, you want one of these. And then tuck her away in a little suburb in Connecticut, jump on the train, keep your mistress in one of the apartments down here, and do the cliche sexist thing. Is there a ring in hell where these people are going to be burning?
I don't know if they're gonna be burning, but there's definitely a place for those people.
But David, so where's the upshot in a world of simulacrum? There isn't. These are Gnostic people. These are people who believe we're in a hell. Vegas is a hell, but it's less of a hell than Washington, is what Baudrillard is trying to say. Is there something to this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you believe in like the hell on earth type of, it's gotta, it's the
Better to rule in hell than
Tyrell, is there a hell of
the less
hypocrisy?
of two evils. Kind of.
Yeah, is the hell of hypocrisy worse than the hell of surgically altering a trophy wife, sticking her away, and then living totally like without empathy and external to yourself?
Well, hypocrisy serves a purpose unless you're conquering your hypocrisy.
By yourself. As they say in Scarface, don't get high on your own supply, right? So you might be selling hypocrisy, but never believe it yourself, right?
That's mostly how parenting works. Hypocrisy.
Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, oh, daddy's smoking, but I don't want you to smoke, right?
So pick that up.
Don't pick that up. Do as I say, not as I do. So Minju, are we based in a society of this floating signifiers? With the book, we're talking about sign and signify. This is a camera, word camera to this. Now this is a digital camera with a 8 gigabyte chip, which is amazing compared to 10 years ago when these suckers were barely, not even up to a gigabyte, barely even like this is 16 pixel, whatever, a high density thing, and next year this will be stupid, you know, due to Moore's law or whatever, or not stupid, it'll still serve a person. Minju, the simulacrum seems like a treadmill to me. Is it? Can we be happy while treading on the treadmill? Butterhead's not wagging his finger like a moralist. He's saying, do it. Knock yourself out. Is it? Is it a treadmill? Is it an exhausting, hellish place?
Yes.
So what's the post-human I see, Remy, is just living more with us, not less. You guys are really. But this is it good, bad, stoppable, unstoppable? Do we develop kind of like prosthetics in defense of these things, or what?
I don't know. I think we try to internalize it, keep it to ourselves. I don't know. Personally, me, I'm not religious, but I do believe in karma, right?
Yeah, that's a funny way of showing up all the time.
And I feel like
call it proportion or a moral ecosystem, whatever you want to call it.
I figured out what my pocket myth was, and I feel like we have a point system in every one of our lives. You do something good, we get a point. You do something bad, you lose a point.
Tyrell and when we lose a point, yeah. So there might be. Everyone's talking about networks and ecosystems now. If the butterfly flaps its wings, if you take someone's iPod in the locker room at the gym just because there's no lock in it, now you say, whose is this? Oh, it's no one's, I'll take it. You know, is that a little flap of the butterfly wing, Tyrell?
Definitely. If you change anything, there's a whole course that can be altered by that one little thing. Even if you took the wrong street one time, you may have avoided a bullet or something. You never know. Anything can lead to anything else through randomness.
Through randomness, so we're guarded by this type of randomness. The thing I would like to explore with all these so the thing I'm going to explore with all these interfaces. Okay, I assign viewers at home, and we're almost done, 2 minutes. To go get your family. David came up with this. I heard last week. I want to see the two women's things. That you guys were talking to your dads, right? In some way, right? And you found out that your dad wasn't clamming up about his dad. He wanted to talk about it. And the aunt who committed suicide, and his dad who was searching for his brother shot down in the sea. Pacific. So was this a bunch of male stuff that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't assigned this assignment?
Yeah, probably.
Really? You and your dad could have gone like that, or you stayed together, or go see each other over Thanksgiving and run parallel and not say, Dad, tell me about your dad's brother who was shot down, and he kept insisting that they go find him.
No, I think I would have found out. It would have come up eventually.
You would have found the occasion for your dad.
Yeah, I would have found the occasion. You know, like holidays when
Dad, tell me.
Family gets together, stories get exchanged.
Tell me about your aunt. Tell me about whatever.
It's more, when family comes over, they're like, well, let me tell you a story.
They have a little too much eggnog, and then they start telling stories. Catherine, did you find any? Did you find similar cases?
Well, I've always been really in touch with my family, so I pretty much knew the whole story because they never shut up about it. So, yeah, they pretty much told me everything.
They divulge everything.
Yeah.
Let's thank Remy. Let's head on. See you on YouTube.